scope of the whole automation stuff. The second question is, if you're going to buy Puppet Labs, and if you're not, do it.
So the question was, what are we doing with Orchestrator and to make automation work a little bit better? And I didn't hear the second question. No, it was asking what we're doing with Puppet Labs. We made an investment. So I will just say, in general, the very top-level metric that I ask a lot of customers, and we have a whole program rolling out around what are the real metrics that matter in the future. And one metric that I care deeply, deeply about is how many virtual machines a single administrator can manage. And that is a very important way of measuring how much automation is in place. And so we use that quite a bit. So we actually track how people adopt our new products and how much better that makes that particular metric. Orchestrator is a very key part of our future. Orchestrator it's a tool that's come through a lot of different history at VMware, but it will be baked into all of our products heading forward so that you can do workflows and really create the approval processes and everything around all the different products. It also will be even more extensible, so we'll have products that are built from our partners that really fit into this core orchestration layer. So that is a very important part of it, and that is all built out of Europe too, so it's fun to come out here and visit that team. The second question, and I'll answer it honestly, was around Puppet Labs. We made an investment in Puppet Labs because we think they're interesting. We're actually looking at partnering with any tool that is used to actually create applications and send them somewhere. So Puppet Labs, and there's one called Chef also. These are kind of the cool new way of orchestrating application creation. And we wanted to learn how that market works, but we also want to make vSphere be one of the greatest places that they ultimately deploy. So we're going to look at everything, every tool that ultimately sends something somewhere, and make sure that it can send it to vSphere in a very good way. Okay.
Your point of view about the storage and storage in the virtualized environment, because we were talking about that before your speech, so what we are thinking about
ESAs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just generally, what are we thinking around storage? And there's that's probably a whole presentation in its own right. But I will say, what is interesting is the move of all sorts of new storage types. Certainly people that are building every type of storage system that's clustered in new ways or that presents different sorts of file system activities on the front end. So we obviously are doing a little bit of work around a software storage appliance that's built into our system. You know, that today is focused directly on very small businesses that either can't afford or don't have the expertise to deploy shared storage. So that's a product that we have today that is important. But one of the things I'm most excited about is a set of new APIs that we're delivering. And have we talked about VAAI? Or is that, is that public?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there are a set of pretty deep APIs that you'll see coming forward that are really focused on how can you continue to automate and make sure that storage is used efficiently, but it allows all of the different storage partners we have to make sure that the value of their arrays can come through. And it will change really the speed and the performance at which we can do everything from dedupe to migration to compression. All of these different areas will be something that can be done very easily, but we want vSphere administrators to be able to do all of it the way that they're used to working with the system. So there are a lot of other things going on, but think about that as one of the core things that's happening.
Hi. A number of enterprise applications are moving from clustering technology requiring shared disk to shared nothing environment. What do you think it might ever happen to VMware, to vSphere?
To make vSphere be a shared nothing architecture? That's a great question. Absolutely, that's where we're headed. As to where it gets all the way over to that's going to take a little while. But the notion of a shared nothing architecture is what people certainly get to. You know, in fairness, there are a few reasons that you move to that. One is availability, and the other is for scale. And you know, the scale of our customers and what we're able to do with today's products and even the ones upcoming, you probably don't need scale out for any environment for performance reasons. We're making the software handle more and more virtual machines and clusters, et cetera. But people do like, especially our service provider partners, when they're really getting to large numbers or they want to have availability models that really scale out, they'll be looking for that. So I can't make any announcements now, but definitely it is the case that we're pulling together vCloud Director and vCenter to have a much more of a shared nothing architecture as we head forward. Any other questions? Okay. Well, once again, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.